Good morning, Gary Cross, Heirloom Popcorn Seed. I'm here today to talk again about some books I have wrote that will be out in August. They're not about popcorn this time, mainly branching out to see if anybody's interested in a good crime thriller, a good science fiction, and a good love story during the Korean War. What has possessed me to write these books? Well, I just wanted to see if I had the ability to sit down and write them, and I'm very proud of them. I think they're pretty good. I think the plots and everything on them are very good. So the first one, of course, the one I have out just recently is called "The Farmer and the Seedsman." That's based on agriculture. That's a true story book written with my travels and trials and tribulations working pre-biotech with the farming industry. I think you'll find it interesting history about agriculture to read. It's on Amazon Kindle, or you can write me here at heirloompopcornseed at gmail.com and get a copy of that. The two new ones I will be releasing in August the 3rd, the romantic war story book probably won't be released till later August or September. The first two I want to talk about is the science fiction, which is called the UAP. I think you'll find it very interesting. It's a story of an object not too unfamiliar, being on a couple of people's farms. In fact, two for sure, and four families observing it, and their trials and tribulations on trying to understand it and trying to deal with it and work with it, and being honest and upfront about it and what type of troubles it gets them into. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll really enjoy the ending of it and the story in itself. Um, the next one I have is small town crime with international implications. Uh, it's a thriller that starts out as a murder in a small town and ends up as a an international spy thriller by the time I get done with it. And probably there's two books there, but I decided to combine them as one. And I hope you enjoy that. Those will both be out on Amazon Kindle. Just type in Gary Cross. Remember, there's two Gary Crosses. There's Gary Cross, retired professor at University of Pennsylvania. So you'll see his name pop up. And then if you type in Gary Cross popcorn or just type in Gary Cross in the name of the books, you will get a response from Amazon on those. Um, the last one I have is called Lost Love in the Red Sun. And it's a thriller, not a thriller, but a romantic during the Korean War, and about two loves that a guy who's an army medic. So look forward to that. I think you'll like that book also. Let me review my books. The first one is Popcorn a Journey, about popcorn and all its implications. I did a review of over 100 heirloom popcorn varieties in a 7-year study and give my opinion of those. And then I put a lot of fun facts and healthy issues and recipes and other things in this book. I've wrote several children's books called Youth Popcorn, Popcorn Day, Youth Popcorn, Planning My Popcorn, Youth Popcorn, Popping My Popcorn, Youth Popcorn, Popcorn History, a Youth Popcorn, Popcorn History coloring book, a Youth Popcorn, a Popcorn Christmas, Youth Popcorn, a Popcorn Halloween, Youth Popcorn, a Popcorn 4th of July. So, and I've got a couple of children's books coming out also, and that may be a little later toward the end of the year, called the Popcorn Superheroes, and I really think the kids will enjoy those. I got two books coming out on that, and maybe two more on Popcorn Thanksgiving and a Popcorn Valentine's Day, but they've been written, but I would rather release some other ones before that. Then I've got Popcorn, Getting Back to Better Health, one kernel at a time. One of the best books ever written about the health of popcorn and how it's good to eat it and how it's the healthiest snack in the world, maybe one of the healthiest foods in the world. I also wrote a book called The Small Town. It's about a decline and of a small town which was vibrant in a rural community, and kind of show how that can come out of it in the end, or giving suggestions on how to come out of it. But it is a little bit of a tragic story. But then again, too, I put it in novelistic style, so I think you'll really enjoy it. I've also wrote a book on customer service called Customer Service: what it used to be and can still be today, and giving tips on all those types of customer service things that AI cannot provide. Also, I wrote a book called Hemp: The Struggles and the Costs. I worked on hemp for around 10 years, industrial hemp. And I talk about all the struggles, the money's lost, the decisions, the USDA's problematic way of interpreting rules. And I think you'll find it quite interesting to read about. And I also give tips and suggestions about people getting into that business. So you might want to look that up. I'm trying to think. I still think I've got one out there, but maybe that's it right off the top of my head. I think I got around 17 to 18 books out, or short stories too. These last four I did probably are closer to short stories, but still going to put it in a book format and put them on Amazon Kindle. Everything I have of all those are all on Amazon Kindle, or will be on Amazon Kindle. So look them up. Take a look at them. We're looking, I haven't talked about popcorn in a while, or agriculture. Popcorn's still doing good. It's still one of the biggest snack foods in America, along with potato chips and peanuts, which are also good snacks. Popcorn is a healthy snack. Popcorn is something we like. Popcorn's still a relatively cheap snack to eat. If you pop it yourself specifically, it's very cheap. Um, I still have the website, heirloompopcornseed.com. So go in there and look at I got close to 100 varieties of seed popcorn for those of you who garden and other things. So give me a contact on that. Also, agriculture. I haven't talked much about it the last couple of times. Agriculture has been struggling. Our foreign markets seem to be closed. We seem to be dropping on prices. It hasn't been profitable to raise corn this year, and it will not be profitable unless there's some sort of government assistance in that capacity. Soybeans have been dropping in that capacity, and the profitability of those is getting less and less. Wheat is in the same capacity. So we're struggling in agriculture right now, and when the agriculture economy is down, everything else will be down. This country has only one true export, and that's agriculture. And a lot of people don't realize we don't export a lot of cars, we don't export steel, we don't export a lot of things that are, made by American made. We import a lot of stuff. That's why we have what we call trade deficits. And we have huge trade deficits, but we don't in relation to agriculture, because agriculture helps make up that trade deficit by selling to other countries. Excuse me. So keep aware of that. Keep aware of what you're looking at in the business world. That agriculture pretty much is the foundation of the business world. You can trade stocks, you can do all this, but with agriculture not in there, it doesn't mean anything. People can't eat. People don't have. Right now, let's look at this. The dollars that we are spending on food is ridiculous. The farmer's not getting that. The manufacturers had to do adjustments. The food people, you want to blame them too, but states have mandated $15 to $18 an hour wage, minimum wages, and it's been tough for a lot of these people in the food industry, restaurants, to be able to keep up with that. plus the issue of COVID not helping. A lot of the little small restaurants didn't get a lot of help from COVID money or dollars. They stuck it out. If they didn't, they closed. And what we need to understand is a lot of this is transportation cost. A lot of this is labor cost. A lot of this is material costs that have went way up. And you have to be a profitable business. You have to pass that cost along in the food industry. Um, but anyway, inflation's hurt us. Inflation's making our dollar shrink. And you go to the store like I did the other day and have one of these small carts, not a big cart, but a small cart, and have 130, $40 worth of groceries in it. And I really have much. And I'm not a big spender as far as junk and junk food. I'm a big spender on just regular items I need, and that's just how high price things have went up in the last 4 years, 4 to 5 years. So we need to look at this and say, wait a second, what is important to us? We need to look at this from the standpoint of what do we need to do to get us back on course. One is to have a strong agriculture and make sure that group is benefiting more than anything. Everybody's saying, well, the stock market's over $40,000. And well, who's making that money? It ain't the guy out here on the street, or guy working in the factory, or the guy and the girl working at the grocery store, or wherever, teaching school. It's the people that's in the higher 1% that's really making the money off that. And somewhere down the road, all that's got to pop. So just like in commodity prices, we had good commodity prices from about 2021 to about 2023, maybe early 24. Basically 23 start going down in 24. That ride was over, and you're starting to see layoffs at factories. You're starting to see layoffs and people not hiring as much in the agricultural sector, and then starting to show up in other sectors also. So always remember, if the farm economy is down, the whole economy is down. Don't let any economist, I don't care if they're Harvard educated, Stanford educated, whoever they are, you do not understand that if you have a bad agricultural economy, you're going to have a bad economy, period. And that needs to be understood and put out here in the forefront. But nobody seems to do that. So I'm going to start doing that. Whether 5 people watch me or 5 million, they need to understand that the economy is based on hard commodities like oil, coal, natural gas, food commodities, and all. That's where the money's at. Manufacturing here, steel, manufacturing, building up our railroads, our transportation systems, our infrastructure, and putting money into that to make it a better economy overall. And we need to be concentrating on these things. And we seem to be getting off on things that aren't, I don't want to say, viable for a better economy down the road. I go back home and visit my parents in Illinois, and that state, I don't know what's happened there to some extent. It's a great agricultural state. I worked in it. But I believe that they have a philosophy in the political spectrum that you can tax your way out of problems, and you can't. And that's why people are leaving, businesses are leaving, other things are not working in Illinois. Even though they still have a strong ag economy, they can't overcome the ridiculous political decisions that are being made that are affecting and destroying that state, basically. Illinois once was a vibrant state. Now it's not a vibrant state. And the governor there said, I want to make it the most progressive state in the union. Well, Illinois never has been a progressive state overall. You've had a lot of Democratic governors and a lot of that. But the issue is you have 3 or 4 counties now that can control the whole state of Illinois, pretty much, maybe 5. And then you got 100 more that really don't have a voice overall. And that's what creates problems. And you have the same thing on some of these Republican states, like Kansas is, majority red or Republican or whatever. And then you have a problematic issue in that and going too far the other way. So we need to have some common ground out here and start making some decisions that are based on some realistic and reality concepts in relation to building better economies and helping people get a step up, especially those who are working, who are paying taxes, who want to do well for their children and do well for everything else. That's as political as I've been since I've been on any of these. But I've been concerned about the ag economy, and we seem to be not being played well as far as the farm bill. That we still haven't passed one, we still haven't got through one, and I'm wondering what are these people doing on the Senate and the House Ag committees? What about our Secretary of Agriculture? What is he doing? He wants to make everything climate change oriented. Well, I'm not believing all the science there yet. I guess I'm a person who has been a scientist and a researcher. And, I see more political than I do hard science. And that's a lot of it. Just because somebody comes up and says from a university, climate change is going to kill us, or climate change is going to end the world in 10 years or whatever. I'm interested in hard science that will create better opportunities for people in our country. That's what we need to be looking at our research, not through ridiculous issues of climate change and other things. So I've just been needing to talk about these things and get them out in the open. And these land grant universities need to get in the groove and get back into developing varieties, giving farmers alternatives from these multinational companies. And the seed, I've worked in the seed industry, I own a seed business. We need to start looking at alternatives for these farmers that they don't have. And when I was, and you can read it in my book, The Farmer and the Seedsman, farmers had many alternatives to turn to. Today, they do not. So we need to give a few more alternatives, and maybe we need to do that through our public institutions that used to do that, but have seemed to lost their vision in relation to that. Now, not all of the land grants have done that, but there are some that have. So, a lot of those things, make me Secretary of Agriculture. I'll probably have people upset with me, but I think you need to look at the focus of where we need to be 10 years down the road, not 10 days. So with that, I'm not going to get too excited in that capacity. You've seen where I'm at on that perspective, but my main concern is agriculture. And growing up in Illinois, I talked to a guy who used to own the seed company I worked for. He's in his upper 80s or 90s, and we were talking about how much coal still was under the soil in southern Illinois, and somebody said as high as 300 to 600 years worth. Why aren't we mining that? Why aren't we burning coal? Why aren't we doing that? Chinese are still doing it. Indians still doing it. Europe still does it. Other people still do it. Why aren't we doing it? Oh, it's about climate change. Oh, it's mineral. It's there. We have this ability and technology to get it out cheaper, safer. And, just because you have a higher sulfur coal, it burns better. So it creates a better energy on a percentage basis. And it doesn't have, especially the coal in Southern Illinois, doesn't have all those negative issues in relation to harmful minerals like Western coal does. So, I grew up in a community or in an area in Southern Illinois that has plenty of oil, 300 to 600 years of coal, good farm ground, two major railroads going through it, two major interstates going through it, two major riverways going around it, the Ohio and the Mississippi. And it's still one of the poorest regions in the country. Maybe not the total poorest, but and look at all the resources they have. that's been a political problem, not a problem of the people. It's been a problem of politics there. So I'm going to stop there. But anyway, I still have books out there. Please read them. They're not political. I'm just being political from the standpoint of all the things that's happened in the past week to 2 weeks. Has been, kind of shocking. But uh, stay the course, eat plenty of popcorn, watch a good movie, go out, support your local businesses, go volunteer in your community, and I'll see you next time. Uh, Happy popping. This is Gary Cross signing off.